India is a nation of 1.2 billion people, and sometime in the very near future will, in all likelihood, be the most populous nation on earth, replacing China, and certainly is the powerhouse of South Asia and has been called an indispensable partner of the United States. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the U.S.-India Strategic Partnership, launched on January 2004 by President Bush. Over the last 10 years, we have seen this bilateral relationship evolve, and today India is the 18th largest export market for the United States, and U.S. direct investment in India has grown over 300% during that time. It is expected that annual bilateral trade between our two countries could increase by fivefold over the next 10 years. In April and May, India conducted the largest democratic exercise in history. The outcome of this election was historic because the former opposition Indian People's Party, the BJP, became the first party to win a majority of India's lower chamber of parliament since 1984 and became the first non-Congress party to rule India's federal government without coalition partners. In addition, Mr. Modi is now the first lower caste Prime Minister, the first born after the country's 1947 independence, and the first to not have been previously embedded within New Delhi's political class. We are all hopeful that the new administration will seize upon this opportunity to work with the United States in reinvigorating bilateral ties and building a more dynamic partnership. Assistant Secretary Kumar, I think your presence here this afternoon is reflective of how important trade and investment are for the future of the U.S.-India relationship. Prime Minister Modi faces the daunting mission of reviving the Indian economy and taking steps to encourage private sector growth. I'm hopeful that his strong positions on trade and business development will help achieve this. Initiatives to spur development in India are critical, and the U.S. can play a significant role in promoting and facilitating modernization efforts. U.S. businesses continue to face severe barriers, including patent revocations, compulsory licenses, and copyright privacy, among other things. This is coupled with concerns about market access, caps on foreign direct investment, and stalled bilateral investment treaty negotiations. I hope we can hear how the Administration plans to address these ongoing trade challenges, especially at the U.S.-India Strategic Dialogue next week. I'm also hopeful that Mr. Modi's resolve to implement a more assertive foreign policy will foster further geopolitically alignment and cooperation between our two nations, because at the end of the day, U.S.-India strategic interests do converge more than they conflict. On the positive side, India's deepening relations with Japan paved the way for possible collaboration on efforts to respond to China's unilateral actions in the East and South China Seas. On the other hand, India's relationship with Russia and implicit support of Russian ambitions in Ukraine are concerning. I hope, Ms. Biswal, you can touch on that particular issue. Many of my colleagues are also concerned about the persecution of religious minorities in India, largely Christian and Muslim groups, and repeated reports about discrimination against women. India has seen a 30% increase in incidents of communal violence since 2012, which has resulted in over 133 deaths. I hope the new Modi government makes it a priority to effectively address communal violence against all religious groups and adequately punish rampant sexual abuse. Short of doing so, these human rights issues will only continue to impede efforts to modernize India's economy and expand opportunities for its poverty-stricken population. As the Obama administration establishes a plan for future cooperation with India, it needs to take a leadership role in building upon U.S.-India mutual strengths, finding ways to advance mutual trust, and doing a better job at helping India integrate into the international system. While the Indo-Pacific Economic Corridor and New Silk Road are credible initiatives aimed at better integrating India with the rest of Asia, they cannot be our only efforts to do so. India must play a more prominent role in the Administration's rebalance policy toward Asia, because the challenges we face in the East and West do not stop at any one country's border. The new Modi administration offers us the chance to change this, to deepen cooperation across the spectrum that will harvest the region's ability to better maintain freedom of navigation, prevent the spread of terrorism, and inhibit the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Modi's scheduled visit to the U.S. in September acknowledges the importance a strong U.S.-Indian relationship can play in our future engagement. I hope Prime Minister Modi can address and deliver on the promised reforms that are needed to strengthen ties between our two countries. And I urge the Administration to be proactive in driving efforts to tackle the most salient issues that negatively affect U.S. economic and regional security interests. I again want to thank the witnesses for being here and look forward to their testimonies. And I would now like to turn to the gentleman from American Samoa. Welcome back, Edie Felima Vega.